What is up, my beautiful people? Hope you're all having a marvelous day. Exile 451 here with yet another daily dose of Reddit Happy. Got a special Humans of Reddit episode today about depression, suicide, and overcoming it. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. Alright, in the course of my usual show prep, I came across the post on the screen, and it struck a chord with me. I really thought that there was a lot more to this story than what was just in this post. So I reached out to this Redditor and wanted to learn more about their story and how they got to the point where they're at now. Just like the interview I did with the meth addict a few weeks ago, this one was done through private messaging, and I'll just be reading both sides. What was your life like up until now? What happened that caused you to feel the way that you did about yourself and life in general? I live in Southeast Asia, so we have a mandatory 2-year national service thing where we have to serve in the army. It is a common thing to go through and commonly marketed as the rite of passage, where you turn from a boy to a man. So I guess you can chalk one to the toxic masculinity in the army for my condition and problems. I have to leave out certain details about the army due to the sensitivity of those issues, non-disclosure, etc. But long story short, I was treated very unfairly in the army, and it was a path of darkness I wouldn't wish upon anyone. My direct superior screwed up my life so badly. What made you feel like suicide was the most reasonable course of action? Was it ongoing trauma and/or drama, or was it spurred by a recent event? What anxieties, struggles, or addictions, if any, may have contributed? My parents have pretty bad issues between them. To me, they're just like man-childs that can't even manage their lives good enough, and yet they want to have a baby and family, which led to some poor parenting choices and less than stellar home conditions. I don't think there was a big catalyst, but it was more of years of a couple issues bottled up and finally exploding. As Westerners would say, it's just a crap show. Dad fell into alcoholism, Mom fell into the trap of religion. Not that I have anything against religion, but she just kept praying for her problems to go away without actively doing anything to solve them. Can you describe your thought process leading up to your suicide attempts? What was going through your head at the time, and what was happening in your life? It was honestly a whole 4 years of darkness, although everything is very much a blur. Sometimes I remember bits and pieces, sometimes I don't. I remember my suicide attempts vividly, the events leading up to it, but sometimes I feel that I remembered how I felt more than remembering what happened, if that makes sense. Honestly though, my suicide attempts were just me crying for help in a way, wanting to be noticed. One of which came after I ran away from home for a day. I spent the night at the airport, Singapore's Shanghai airport, first in the world. You should check it out someday, even for a layover. And they didn't even notice I was gone. I thought of running away, I thought of jumping down, I thought of running onto the street and getting banged by a car. Tons of it. The darkness I felt was looming. Sorry for the boring description, but I always felt difficulty describing it. It was just darkness. Total darkness over my life. The social, romantic, and personal aspects of my life. I saw no way out. I wanted to get to an overseas college, even though the local ones are pretty qualified. But I flunked my GCE A levels, which is like the college entrance exams, and then that hurt my morale further. Everything felt like 3 steps forward, 10 steps back. Friends didn't accept me, those that didn't know how to help me, and I bled on those that didn't hurt me. Some that cared, because I wasn't mentally right in the first place. Where have you come to now? What breakthrough led to you having the strength to burn those notes? Leaving the army and entering college wasn't a straightaway transformation thing, as much as I would have expected it to be. It was still a process, but it was a process of slowly leaving the darkness. 3 steps forward, 2 steps back, but still a step at a time. The biggest thing, though, was when I met someone that helped me throughout. You know the cliche thing that goes, it only takes one person to change your life? I had a mentor during one of my internships in college, the summer that just passed. He taught me more than just technical company stuff. He taught me about life, about how to manage my life, how to change for the better, and how to learn for the better. What does it truly feel like to be in love with life again? What would you recommend others in a similar situation do to reach the same point as you? My future, from the way I see it, is honestly amazing. For the first time in the longest time, I feel that the wind is blowing in the right direction. The unknown excites me rather than makes me anxious. The only advice that worked, ones that I kept telling myself back then, was just giving this stupid world another day. Slowly, another day became a week, then month, and then year. So yes, I fell in love with life, in love with being alive again. And it is my wish out there that everyone will experience this feeling, even during bad days. There isn't much recommendation I can give because, honestly, the only thing that kept me going was my one more day motto. Financial literacy helped me because money was an issue between my parents, but it was mostly ego from both of them. To all the parents out there, don't have kids if you can't afford to, mentally and emotionally. That was a very selfish part of my parents, whom I still bear a grudge with to this day. A small one, but still one. They weren't very emotionally responsible and didn't really think the entire marriage through. It was just them converting to social norms. Everyone has their battles to face. Having a mentor definitely helped me. I don't think those hotlines or counselors in college helped me, even though that avenue of help is much appreciated. The social stigma associated with mental health is definitely an issue for those suffering from it. What woke me was when I accepted that life is about getting lost and finding your way again. I used to be the top scorer, high flyer in school until I was 17. The Mr. All Figured Out. Then, things went downhill, so that derailed me quite badly. All of a sudden, I had no plans, which very much wasn't me. If I had to summarize the darkness and escaping it, it was all about accepting me and redefining me. First off, OP, I really want to thank you so much for being willing to do this interview, for being willing to answer such personal questions for me so I could be able to bring this out to other people who may be struggling. Yours, while unique to you, isn't necessarily a story that isn't happening to others. So many people out there struggle with these same issues. And while it's good that you got out of it, it's good that you found the strength to be able to burn those old notes that you had. There are a lot of other people that are struggling with the same issue, that feel depressed, that feel lost, that feel alone. And so I want to thank you deeply for being willing to at least share what worked for you. And for everyone watching, remember, like I said at the beginning, this isn't a medical diagnosis. This isn't something that I would recommend. It's simply what worked for him. And if it works for you, great. Take things one day at a time. Just give this world one more day and see if it's better than the last. There is always hope out there. Taking the easy way out, taking yourself out of the game like this, will never solve anything for anyone else. It will just leave those around you miserable. But there is always hope. You can have a brighter tomorrow. I promise you that. There will be a better sunrise for you. And when you get to that other side, you will be so grateful that you held on. If you're depressed, if you're struggling right now, reach out. Talk to someone you trust. They won't push you away like you're thinking they will. The people you consider your closest friends will be more than willing to hear you out, will be more than willing to try and help you in whatever way they can, as minimal as it may be. Take solace in that and just keep trying. You're loved, you're appreciated, you can do this. Again, OP, thank you so much for sharing, and I really hope that this can touch someone in a way that will help them move forward as well. Keep at it, you're doing great, and I really look forward to hearing what else happens in your life. Thank you all so much for tuning in today. I truly appreciate you guys coming here and spending time watching the channel, supporting it, and bringing it to other people's attention. It is growing exponentially, and I could not be more grateful for all of you. If you enjoyed the video, please make sure to hit that like button and subscribe so you can get more of your daily dose of Reddit Happy. Now you guys go out there, have a great day. I will see you all tomorrow. Until then, I'm Exile451. Stay beautiful, people.